Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Winback, and on today's episode of Heroes of the Storm in our A through Z playthrough, we're going to be playing Tyrael, and I am going to be messing around with some different talents for a more judgment damage focused build, and I'll try to show you how the best ways to play that are. Now, given that Tyrael is a tank, playing him as a bruiser is a little bit more difficult, but hopefully, it won't change too much. Now, it's a YouTube video at the end of the day, so feel free to like, comment, subscribe your heart out. And the team comps today are going to be Sergeant Hammer, Varian, Deathwing, Anduin, and Tyrael versus Lucio, Chromie, Stitches, Kel'Thuzad, and Hanzo. And if you're not ready for it as it stands right now, this game is going to be a long one, and you can rest assured that any game involving Tyrael likely will be. As long as you're playing him correctly, no matter what you're building, whether it's Judgment or Sanctification, there are going to be some difficulties when playing this character. Number one, your teammates. That is going to be a very, very big problem when it comes to Tyrael, because a lot of what he does relies on your teammates understanding their position in relation to Tyrael, how to use his abilities, and how to effectively stay near him or away from him, depending on what he can do for them. So, if you're playing Tyrael as a main, if you really like this character, I am going to go ahead and caution you right now, the character is extremely difficult for that reason. He is basically a support tank, and you really have to know what you're doing, or you have to have people on your team who are willing to work with you. Hopefully in comms, you've made a comp, you know what's going on. Because it's very difficult to make this character work, which is why we're taking Judgment this game. We're going to be building Judgment, a lot of damage talents, and a lot of selfish Tyrael play this time around, so fingers crossed that that works the way that I hope it will. Now, if you're not familiar with Tyrael's abilities, I will go ahead and lay them out for you. Your Q is called Eldruin's Might. I believe I was correct. You're going to throw your sword onto the ground, and then, wow, yes. Get blocked for, Hammer. Jesus, stop turning around. Are you... We body blocked the Sandblast from Chromie, and the Hammer's like, nah, bro, I'm okay. I've got plenty of health. Right, but you throw your sword on the ground, and from there, it's going to slow people. The slow is... It's 25%, so... in team fights, it'll definitely come in handy, but for chasing people when they're fleeing, it's not going to make the biggest difference in the world, especially if they have any sort of movement ability or they're Lucio. So we could kind of throw the slow out for this ability, and some of Tyrael's talents have been changed recently too to make that even less impactful, I feel like. So, all that being said, once you throw the sword down, you can hit people with it, it does damage, but you can also teleport to it after throwing it down and reactivating it, like so. I wanted to teleport right away because the Chromie Hourglass was on the ground, and I am in no way wanting to get blasted by that and stuck in place while my team does whatever the fuck they're doing. Anduin dies to Kel'Thuzad. Looks like Chromie's just going to die as well after Anduin gets the kill. And we're focusing on whatever it is up on the top side of the screen instead of the tribute. Not sure why we have Taunt Varian either. Would have preferred a Colossus Smash or a Twin Blades, if we're being honest. But pick whatever you're going to pick. It's quick match. I don't have any control over you. I'm not your nanny. Even though I think that's really fucking dumb. Now, your W ability is one of your bigger support ticket items for this character. It's called Righteousness. Now, Righteousness is just going to give you a big shield, and then is going to shield allies around you as well. It also shields minions, mercenaries, whatever is in the radius, as long as it's not a building. Or an enemy, which, you know, right? Anyway, the ability itself gives a smaller shield to things around Tyrael, but Tyrael himself gets a pretty decent chunk of shield. I think it tells you in the tooltip, let's see, 40% of the shield that you get as Tyrael goes to everything around you, which is kind of cool, but also kind of shitty, because this ability is 45 mana. Everything in Tyrael's kit is 45 mana. And everything about that means that Tyrael is going to have extremely painful mana costs. Because the need to use your shield all the time, really, I mean, you can tell you have to use it a lot, especially in quick match, or especially in games where other players don't know what the fuck they're doing and just walk up and take a whole bunch of damage. You will ultimately end up shielding them for a lot of the amount of damage that they take, and in doing that, you burn your mana bar like no other hero in the entire game. Now, what you could be saying to yourself is that, oh, well, I'll just learn to shield only the important damage, and that's fine, you can try to do that, but ultimately, if you only shield the important damage, he's dead, thank God. If you only shield the important damage, you may be holding your shield until the very last vestiges of life come down on a character. 15 health that hammer got away with just for being sieged up for ages. Just stop sieging, my man. I promise you, you'll be okay. Your shields sometimes aren't enough to save people at the smallest bit of life that they have. So, really, what I do with this ability more often than not is use it to block incoming damage as the outset of the fight starts, and then that's it. You only get one. I hope you make the best of it. It's a shield. You can live your life. That's my philosophy when playing Tyrael. It may not work the best all the time, but at the end of the day, I can only be in so much control of what my teammates are actually doing. And we can't shield Deathwing either, so being anywhere near that guy is kind of a waste of our abilities. Okay, might actually die here. Nope, gonna make it out. Got plenty of teleportation abilities. Not sure why Deathwing goes in, but he might actually get that kill. Looks like the taunt's coming down on the Lucio, and he will die, but we're going to lose the Deathwing? We're not. We're not actually going to lose the Deathwing. Just doing as much damage as we can to the Hanzo here and backing away because my mana bar is super teeny tiny at this point. Now, our E button is called Smite. It is the, it's Tyrael's most consistent form of damage, apart from auto attacks. So what Smite is going to do is it's going to put this big sigil on the ground, and that is going to do damage to anything laying there. The cool part about this ability is that if an allied hero, even Tyrael, walks over this, they're going to get 25% increased movement speed while that, or after they've moved over the sigil, which is really fantastic. There are also talents that you can take that will let this increase your attack speed, and if I'm being honest with you, I kind of missed that this game because I didn't take that talent, and it is really helpful. Hopefully my team will eventually find out that you have to kill mercenary camps. You know, they're pretty important. They do a lot of damage. I'm dead because I was the solo merc camp clearing Tyrael while my team did whatever the fuck that they were doing. So that's really cool. Maybe it was my fault. The siege giants were really far up in the lane, so we probably could have let them push in, but I still hate my team. So our trait for Tyrael is a death trait. You've probably seen it at least once already. Yes, at least once in that last kill. Ooh, Hanzo down. Looks like Varian may be next, though. The hook is not going to connect. The judgment will happen on the Lucio. He has been stunned and taunted and killed, while Hammer just sits in hover siege mode, taking damage from the Kel'Thuzad ultimate that she is not dodging even remotely. Hopefully Stitches will die. I'm getting rewound, so there's nothing that I can do, and Varian's going to get blasted out of the game by the Kel'Thuzad ultimate that literally will not stop resetting because the hammer will not get out of siege mode and dodge it. It's really good. So I may actually be in some trouble again. There's the sandblast to kill me. Ooh, is that a Kel'Thuzad? Nailed it. That is what happens with Tyrael's trait. He gains movement speed, he reduces damage, and then finally after a set amount of time, he explodes, dealing huge damage. Thank God for Anduin. That was the pull of pulls. Now, so So 20% move speed for 4 seconds, and then we're going to deal 721 damage on the explosion. It also reduces heroes' damage by 50% while active and for 3 seconds when it expires, and then every enemy that we hit with our explosion, we reduce our death timer by 10%. So since we only hit Kel'Thuzad and killed him, we got 10% off our death timer, which is not negligible. Ultimately, any time off your death timer is going to be very helpful. Can we get the Chromie kill? She's going to get the sound barrier from Lucio. She's slowed, can only do so much auto-attacking, trying to get away from the hourglass. Ooh, she's almost roasted. I can't quite. There it is. Gotta use that sword teleportation whenever possible to secure those squishy kills. Another thing that Tyrael is really good at is diving. And the Kel'Thuzad can't land a combo to save his life, so thank God for that. Lots of juking and jiving. I have to dive back in to peel for my Anduin. Thank God there was already a sword there because of our level 13 talent. But you're welcome, buddy. You're the only person that I like on this entire team. Maybe Deathwing. Deathwing's doing okay too. Deathwing and Anduin are okay by me. I just don't like Hammer or Varian. This is another reason. But all that being said, we've taken Judgment today as our level 10, our heroic choice. Judgment is going to launch Tyrael towards a specified target. After 0.75 seconds, he is going to be completely unstoppable, smash into the target, and they are going to be stunned and take a lot of damage. Ooh, good interrupt by the Deathwing, just in the nick of time. Got my Judgment interrupted because that 0.75 second windup is just way too long, just like it is for Imperius. But whatever, that's fine. We're not using Sanctification, so this is just kind of what's going to happen. We're going to try to hit the Lucio, but ultimately, how much damage can we do to him? It's not very much. It's not very much. He's just too fast. We've got to auto-attack, deal all of our damage, and the slows that we provide are not enough to hold that bugger down. So here we are. But Judgment, the stun and the damage that it does, nice roasting by the Deathwing. Can't even reach the Lucio. He's just going to push me back. Really unfortunate. Alright, but Judgment is a very clear indicator for your team, assuming that your team has eyes, that you are going to go in and stun a single person and do a bunch of damage to them, and that they better follow up to kill that person. If they don't, wow, just how many of those ults are you going to get hit by Hammer? Stop sieging. It's okay to not siege, especially if you're getting blown away by a Chromie and a Kel'Thuzad, and a Hanzo, for that matter. Everything on the enemy team is geared to destroy Sergeant Hammer if she is sieged up. So, it's okay. I'm gonna die here, huh? He's gonna... No, I didn't want to go that way. I'll go this way instead. My sword sits on the ground for quite a long time, so I do have lots of juke opportunities, thank God for that. I'm going to try to tap to go in, but ultimately I don't think this is going to happen. Anduin has been pulled out. Can we get the Hanzo? Okay, doesn't look like it. I actually missed him with the damage from my sword too, because I wasn't aiming it properly, because Hammer's going to get hit by another hook. Let's stop focusing on my bad plays and focus more on that. Back to the build, though. Back to what we were talking about. So your talent build for Tyrael with Judgment, with what we're building for, is mostly damage-centric with a few mobility talents, with a few damage talents worked in there as well. So your level 1 talent is actually nothing but a heal talent. So Ardent Restoration, this has been changed a little bit. The actual passive of this does not change from what it used to be, but they recently gave it a quest aspect. So globes that you get with this talent now increase the healing that you're going to get. So, let's see. Tyrael's going to get 36 healing over 5 seconds, and the damage, damage that he does resets the timer up to 10 times. So ultimately, if you hit 10 times enemy heroes, you get 360 health over 5 seconds, and that just continues and repeats forever if you keep hitting heroes. Now, that is going to be increased by currently 22%, because we picked up 22 globes, which is, let's see, 360. What's 20% of 360? 10% of 360 is 36. So 20 would be 72. So 72 additional healing on the fully stacked up duration for the heal. And we can just continue that on. The healing is really good. Like right now we're getting 91 healing. There's 164 from Smite talent, mind you. That was not because of the level 1. But we have stuff going on currently that is also healing us. So the root misses, the Varian dies on the bottom side of the screen doing God knows what, because it's really not helping us. Are we going? Nope, Hanzo's gonna poof out of there. Gonna hit 2 people though, reducing our death timer by 20%. Nailed it. Even though the enemy team's gonna get the Garden Terror, and I thought Deathwing was for sure going to continue to interrupt here, but he only had 1. You should be saving those charges to interrupt. But that's fine. I mean, live your life. It's only losing us the game or something, you know? Okay, back to the build. So, our level 1 talent, Ardent Restoration, level 4 talent, Divine Vigor. If Smite hits an enemy, Tyrael's basic attacks within the next 4 seconds heal for 70% of the damage dealt. Now, that was the big healing you were seeing just a little while ago that we were hitting people with. You have to smite them first to get that additional healing, but ultimately, healing yourself with this build, you're just going to get hit again. Like, how do you not see that you're just going to be hooked? Anyway. What was I saying? The attack damage, I mean, really, that's just... No, this isn't the attack damage tier. It's really easy to forget when you just watch someone make a really dumb decision. But Lucio's down finally to the taunt from the Varian. Nice stuff there. Still would have preferred the smash, but whatever. We're working with it. Divine Vigor giving you the 70% heal. So ultimately this build, while being mostly auto attack focused for damage, I've been stopped by an hourglass. He's gonna die, right? Thank you. Since it's auto attack focused, the auto attack healing that we're gonna get from this talent is pretty substantial. Not only that, but since this is all auto attack and heal kind of based build, when you're in team fights, when you're in the middle of things, you'll be healing for a lot of damage, so you'll be tanking a lot of damage that the enemy team puts on you, unless they just hook you, grab you, kill you. Which is a possibility, but really Tyrael does have a lot of options to deal with that. I've been gorged, but it doesn't matter because Stitches will die. Thank God. So 25% right now on our healing for our level 1 talent. We've got 25 globes because we're trying to keep up with that the best that we can. And we can move on to the level 7 talent, which is Purge Evil. Purge Evil is going to increase the damage. Oh, excuse me. Oh my God. It's going to increase the basic attack damage that we do by 60% for every enemy hit by our smite. So since it's an AoE ability, it's a rather large AoE ability, we can hit quite a few people, increase the attack damage of our autos by quite a bit, and we can get a lot of healing back with that because of the level 4 talent. So again, that kind of symbiosis between the talents is really, really helpful for keeping Tyrael alive in team fights, but still auto attacks. So again, against characters like Lucio, I mean even Hanzo to some extent with his jump away, it's tough to hit them the way that you really need to. So you really end up just having to hit Chromie or Stitches or Kel'Thuzad in these instances because they are the least mobile, and that's just kind of how this build works. It works really good against immobile mages, but when there are characters like Lucio to speed those mages up, just going to take some more Kel'Thuzad ults and a hook right after that. Okay, it's fine. Everything is fine. I'm going to get rooted. I'm going to die. Let's go use our trait. She's just gonna ice block my shit, huh? Anduin's just dying on the other side. Nothing we can do to help him because whatever it is that's happening in the middle of the map right now. I don't know. The team focus is really just not there. But luckily the giants that we got earlier are going to get this keep. Look at it. No, actually they're not. Unless they kill all the minions first. While these giants, the enemy team, most likely get our middle keep. Back to the build though. Since it did go down. Look at that. We're doing stuff. Now 13, I know this is a tier that everybody has an opinion about. This is a discussion talent tier for Tyrael. I like Sword of Justice ridiculously much. And that is going to let us blink in with Eldruin once, and then blink back because the sword is going to swap places with Tyrael. Cannot believe the enemy team couldn't end there, but thank God that they didn't. They were just so scared. I'm just keeping people back so they don't go back and deal with all the damage happening to their core right now. We're just holding them in place, stopping their backs, but it looks like it's finally happened. They've all gotten away. Only so much that I can do. And Hammer has napalm strike, so there is no... Ooh, what? Excuse me, what's going on over here? There is the Judgement on the Hanzo. He is just going to get all of his health back. We're going to dodge the root real quick as we hop away, hop back, get the taunt target. Hopefully, nope, Varian is going to get gorged. The Deathwing drops down on top of everyone else, and we are doing our best to make this happen. Wrong direction for the Deathwing, a little bit, you know, downward angled would have been better, but we just need to keep going. If we can kill the Kel'Thuzad and the Chromie, we're going to have a good time. I promise, team. I'm going to die here. I've been pulled and messed up my shit a little bit. Gonna hit 2 people though. 20% off our death timer. Reduced some damage. Did some damage. Hopefully my team can make this happen. Oh no, it looks like the big boys are leaving the Anduin all by himself yet again, and he's going to die. While Varian is over here getting a Chromie kill. Really unsure why a tank would need to do that. If you're going to build the tank class for the character that you've picked, you have to do tank things, such as peeling and assisting your team. Taunt Varian, as much as he can kill a character, should be actively diving like an assassin to do so at the expense of his teammates' lives. So, anyway, that reduced death timer is going to be just enough to bring us back here in the nick of time to help clear out the damage on our core. Really strange that the enemy team didn't just run at the core. I mean, Lucio and Stitches, I feel like, could have done 47% damage, or at least done enough to keep us away from the objective here. But whatever. I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. So Sword of Justice is also in competition with Holy Ground. Holy Ground is going to put a blocking field, just an immovable wall, where the sword is for Tyrael. So when you throw the sword down and you teleport to it, you get a big circular wall that the enemy team cannot walk through. Nothing can go through, which is insanely useful as a tank, but with this specific build, not so much. Sword of Justice offers much more mobility, much more aggressive positioning. It just lets you do way more as a damage dealer, a bruiser, than it does as, you know, a peely, tanky main guy. So, ultimately, that was my plan anyway. We still tank shitloads of damage with our healing build and set up a lot of CC with Judgement. So, at the end of the day, I'm not super concerned about missing out on Holy Ground. And even if I was playing main tank Tyrael, I'd be a little bit hesitant to do so because I guess it doesn't really matter. Everybody on the team really only has movement speed, except Hanzo, who can jump over things, but Sword of Justice is my favorite. That's what I take. And then the 16 talent Burning Halo we're taking because the Burning... oh my god, I can't believe that game actually happened the way that it did. Burning Halo lets you burn for damage and lets Eldruin burn for damage, and when you teleport to Eldruin, you guys deal 150% more damage through the burn, which is going to stack with your healing talent at level 1 very, very nicely. Just really good stuff there. Really consistent healing and damage for Tyrael with the Burning Halo. And then at 20, you just end up taking the Judgment upgrade, which is Angel of Justice. It's going to reduce the cooldown of Judgment by 40 seconds. So it's on a 30-second cooldown, has 50% increased range, and is perfect for just slapping people up left and right whenever you want. If you're going to take Judgment, you have to take the Judgment upgrade. It's just that good. I promise you, it's just that good. Now, everything else about this build, as you can see, we're going to start with Ardent Restoration, Divine Vigor, Purge Evil, Judgment, Sword of Justice, Burning Halo, and Angel of Justice. But again, all of this leads into the healing that Tyrael can get from his autos, and then from the burning damage at 16, and the level 1 talent with the upgraded healing from the globes. So, everything going on with this build is about letting Tyrael tank through means of regenerating health and setting up kills with Judgment, and then possibly just securing kills on your own with your auto attack damage, your ultimate, and potentially Smite. But your main form of tanking with Tyrael with this build is to be an unholy nuisance, to get directly in the enemy team's face, bait a bunch of cooldowns, make them do a bunch of stupid shit, and then poof yourself away so that they now have to deal with the rest of your team. Had we had any semblance of a coordinated team fight in that entire game, this probably would have been a lot shorter, but there you have it. So that is it for me. We'll be back tomorrow with Tyrande, which I'm not looking forward to at all, but hopefully that game doesn't suck. So I'll see you there.